today that I'm going to talk about is finding fabulous in your failures. Because to fail is to feel a loss, to feel that you didn't accomplish or succeed. And it can be quite painful depending on how passionate you are about what it is, but as an underlying failure is something that's always been something that you'll be aware of, whether you've seen other people being a failure or you've felt that you ran a good race but you still didn't win, so you felt like you failed. People, especially like Olympians, they're driven by overcoming their failures or not meeting their times is failing, but they put strategies in place based on their failures in order to try and accomplish that success that they want to achieve. Where I think it's an important topic to talk about is that us as a people are I'm not so sure that like of a competitive nature, but have absorbed an understanding of feeling alienated or feeling injustice is not justified. And hence the reason why I think making the topic of failing something a topic to hopefully normalize or bring about an awareness of seeing it as an opportunity to make alterations to coming to that success that you want to feel, or that you want to. It's to feel. It is definitely to feel, because the first time I really felt a failure, came about losing my job, one of my jobs, and the reason behind losing my job was highly discriminating, I believe, especially being a woman in a very male-dominated industry where I was to be expected to stay at the Christmas party for a longer period of time, to go up to the Barangaroo fucking penthouse suite and entertain all of management, and like as if like I was a piece of meat, and I wasn't up to it, and so I decided to leave early. And from the Christmas party, and come Monday morning, I went into the office, and my boss called me into the office, and he said, he asked me, where did I go, why do I go? Like, I had a lot of my executive managers from different states had flown in for this Christmas party to specifically meet me. And I lied and just said I felt really sick and I just really needed to go home. But I hated to feel like I was the object of men's desires, type of thing, of fulfilling that role. That wasn't my role. My role was to live up to my job description as a business development manager, and to build relationships with either new clients to come on board, or build stronger bonds with the existing clientele that we did have. And as it is also very important to have a very tight internal team and be close with your teams to have that communication with them, I still didn't find or think that the use of me being there was at the Christmas party any longer. As I was saying, as the reasoning behind my boss making me feel obligated to stay for the Christmas party was entertainment, to entertain other executive managers that came from other states to meet me. Well, not just me, like the Christmas party involves the whole team, but as the business development manager, the responsibility is basically they're the face, they are the relationship bridge to the clientele that gives a company its revenue, profitability, because at the end of the day, it's all about building strong relationships with your clientele, so they have that utmost trust, that they get to see the results that they need from me, or also as from a company perspective. So to fall short of not being at this Christmas party, my boss terminated me on the spot, like fully. Had my company vehicle taken off me, had phone, laptop, credit cards, and basically just put in a taxi and went home. I was like, it shocked me. I mean, I went at my base salary for doing that job, when I was in that job, was 120k base salary, and then on top of that I would get commissions for exceeding the budget. My budget was like, roughly sometimes like 3.5 million a month. That's the building industry, and all the different avenues of how you can sort of make money in servicing and facilitating buildings, and the upkeep of and maintenance. Anyway, I felt defeated in that particular situation. Hence, and when I told my mum about it, I was like wanting to fight back and say that's just not fair. I like to be being made redundant because I didn't stay long enough to entertain the rest of the staff that had come to the Christmas party. My mum said to me, "Don't worry about it. Just move on from it and just as usual." But as I look at that point of a failure I felt and look back at it now, the most important thing that I took away with me was my dignity, my integrity, the value of who I am as a woman, you know, and that to me is finding fabulousness in a failure. Um, Nothing should ever undermine your worth, your value, your integrity, and who you are. So, I mean, that was just one example of a failure. It made me stronger, definitely. It gave me foresight on different things, and you know, as I think back to all the different roles that I played um, through Blue Scope Steel and Small and Steel Distribution, where we were manufacturing supply chain of structural steel and engineering steels for developers to your your little engineering boilermakers who fix machineries. Um, I learned a lot from my bosses, but I also saw every one of my bosses all try to put me in a position of having that them wanting to have an affair on their wife, to have a sexual encounter with me, and I was aware of that. And every time I was confronted with those type of situations, you know, obviously having met all my boss's wives as well, um, and being on the receiving end of having a husband that had an affair on me, I stood my ground and was prepared to lose my job, whatever it took, to stand my ground of what I valued most, I suppose, you know, like I didn't like it when my ex-husband had an affair on me, so why would I want to be on the receiving end of having a husband do that to his wife and really try to get away with it, that's what, you know, but some people are very vulnerable to those type of situations, where potentially they've had those affairs with their bosses just because they're scared that they might lose their job. But my pride, my integrity were solid, and what governs um, a relationship or a partnership, loyalty, honor fall under. And I don't know if it's just my makeup, but I feel that it's necessary to share this because it's been like an ongoing sort of scenario for me when men will put themselves in that situation to have a moment, have a moment, have a taste, have a taste of it, and then go back to their wife. I didn't want to be. When I saw it like that, like it just made me hate that thought that I'll always be that other woman, and I knew I was worth more than that. So as as it as those failures for men to think that they could treat me that way, um, turned into something of great value and great lessons of men operating from a chauvinistic foundation of thinking they can have that upper hand and control over a woman, to think that us as women will submit. And I don't know what kind of woman I am, but I would never submit to that. It never crossed my mind to ever look at any of my ex-husband's friends, best friends, and think, yeah, I'm gonna go have sex with them. No, that's just wrong on so many levels. Again, but it's I think the point that I'm getting at, that you'll either find yourself vulnerable and feel like you have to submit, or be brave and stand in the truth. And if you don't think it's right, then you stand by it, and you walk in your truth. And sometimes, yeah, like the example I gave you about my boss. What did he do? I was made redundant. I was made redundant from that job. It hurt. It did hurt a little bit, but it brought me to where I am today. So I was out of a job in Sydney. My children were up in Queensland. My daughter was out of control. My ex-husband wasn't a good co-parent with me. It was always his input was quite, I don't know, men had these mental blocks of feeling that they will not conform to how the decision the mother wants to make. So, and not that I wanted to just make the decision myself, but as parents we have to make decisions, and we have to discipline, and we have to follow through. And I just didn't have that team player with him one bit, and I'm not sure whether that had anything to do with the fact that I wasn't prepared to get back into a relationship with my ex-husband. So he wanted to just wanted to traumatize me or stress me out even more than what we were going through, I suppose. Yeah, I felt like I raised my kids for myself, and it's good to see how I can look at it now, like, and without the emotional turmoil that he would bring me to. It was like he was fixated on actually getting that reaction of getting me upset and seeing me hurt, because in his eyes that was an understanding of, oh, she does care, look, she's getting upset, she's hurt because I wouldn't go pick the kids up after school because blah blah blah, because I had to finish working or something. And yeah, it was hard, but now it's even harder. It's even harder now because I feel that I put so much effort into trying to be the best parent I could, and yet still feel like I failed miserably. And how do I? And so with that topic and at hand at the moment, you feel like you failed your children, can be fabulous, because I've got to turn this around and stop feeling guilt. I've got to stop holding myself accountable for not doing a good job, or just being a shit parent. If I was a shit parent, I apologise to my children 100 times, yet I still get punished. I still get punished. But
influence of that behaviour?
There's